Okay, sorry. So guys, I started with logical operator. So logical operator as a symbol used to connect two or more expression. It's something like whatever we have learned previously. It's not depend like whenever you used to execute something, it not only depend on one condition. When like in a real world scenario, what used to happen is if multiple condition are there, there are scenarios where multiple condition are true, then only some part of code will get executed. Okay. जैसे I gave you an example, like your father said, like you will get an bike only if you got one first position in your 10th class. So there are two conditions here, 10th class and in first and the first position. Okay. So if those two conditions are true, then only you will get it. So this is like a combination of basically statements. So combination of expression. So types of logical operator is first and logical operator. So and we used to make it like with this thing, with this symbol. Okay. So this is known as logical and. This is known as logical and. When we talk about or, so this is my or, and like here you can see that if I say logical or. Okay. Now the third thing is when I'm saying logical not. So this is not sign. And here in this one, I would say this is known as logical not. So we have three operators and, or, and not. Okay. So let's start with and operator. Let's start with and operator. So basically, the property of and operator is when two conditions are true, then only it will give you true. Okay. Now suppose that like you came here, you registered in MSAT. Okay. You want to join Masai. And for that, you have given a test. Okay. And Masai said like for to enter in this institute, so what you need to do is you need two things. The first thing is you need to be a college. You can say that you will be having 12th class mark sheet. And the second thing which they mentioned is the second thing which is required is your Aadhaar card. Aadhaar card. Okay. So basically these two things which are actually required. So this is a result. And now you can see this thing. So basically, when I'm saying 12th mark sheet, so suppose you said there are four possible scenarios which can arise. Maybe you said, I have the 12th mark sheet, but I don't have the Aadhaar card. Then in that case, Masai will say that what will be your result? You won't be allowed. Sorry, we can't. Now you are saying that I don't have mark sheet, but I have Aadhaar card. Then in that case also, it's not allowed. The third case is you don't have like both of the things. Both are false. So this is something true and false and true. False. Why? You don't have mark sheet, you don't have Aadhaar card. Then you can say that the result will be false. The condition will be true only in one situation where you have both of the things. So this is something like an and. Okay. So and is used when all conditions are true. When all conditions are true. So and will give you the output yes when all conditions are true. Okay. So this is the main like this is the main focus here. So I'll just show you in code how we used to write it. One second. Similarly, you can put multiple condition on it. So here I'm creating a REPL. Uh, So just understand this thing. Okay, when I'm talking about logical operator, so suppose if I am taking two condition, okay, so the two condition is boolean. So this is the boolean one variable, and here I'm creating a variable. The variable is you have as mark sheet. Okay, so this is my variable name. Now in this one, suppose you have the mark sheet true. Okay, now the second thing is boolean as Aadhaar card. So this is true. So guys, this is a way of creating a variable. Okay. एक वेरिएबल आप कैसे बना सकते हो? Suppose if I want to write has marksheet, so underscore and marksheet. Okay. So these are actually you can say the kind of a notation. You know that na, like whenever you open a, you can say that any novel or something, there are some rules. Okay. मतलब you, it's up to you. You also cannot. It's up to you that you won't follow that rules. But the main thing is कि the person who is reading your code, it will be easy for him, okay, to go through it. So the one very important thing whenever you are creating a variable is you can either give it, this is the way like I've created this variable, this is known as snake case. Why snake? This is actually looking like a snake. Has mark sheet, and suppose if you want more things, so I you can put more letter. So but what you are doing is you are putting a underscore, and every letter is small. Another one is camel case. Okay, another one is camel case. How camel case actually look like? Camel case is something the first letter will be small, but the second word first letter will be capital. So this is something like a camel. Okay, so this is known as camel case, and this is known as basically the previous one which I've shown you, that is snake case. It's up to you totally, like how which case you are following. But remember one thing: if you are creating a variable, तो variable कुछ meaningful होना चाहिए. Okay, so that like if any person is reading your code, that person will easily understand what you want to say. So has mark sheet true, has Aadhaar card, that is also true. Now in this case, if I just do system.out.println, and if I take this thing has, and if I do and of it, and with the has Aadhaar card, and I put a semicolon here. Now let's see what will happen. Java main dot Java. Now the output is coming true. Okay, but if I put one of the condition as false, then it will give me false. So it is giving me false. Okay, so this is how we can write it. But now, how I can use the result of it? So what I'll do is I will create another variable boolean, and I will put it here. Now you can see that my result will come inside this variable result. So now what I'll do is if I'm writing if result, so if result is true, then in that case, I would say system.out.println admission granted. Else, I'm saying admission denied. So basically here you can see that based on the result, what I've done is like if this condition is true, then I'm saying admission is granted. So this is the first way of doing it. This is the first way of doing it. So there is one more concept in programming that is known as comments. Okay, so I'm just showing you. Like if I select this code and if I commented it and if I run my code, then what will happen is when my code will run, so it will ignore all these statements. Why? Because I have commented it. So what is the way of comment? So just putting two slash. When you put two slash, so that line will get commented. Comment means I'm just telling my program that when you will run this code, like ignore this. So if you just select all the lines and if you just press control and forward slash, control plus forward slash, automatically your all line will get commented. So now you can see that like I've commented this code. Now this is the first way. Now what is the another way of doing this? So I can also directly write this. So I'm just copying this thing. So if I uncomment this, and now instead of writing result, what I'll do is I'll directly put all this thing here. So that is also fine. Okay. Instead of writing the variable, what I'm doing is I'm directly writing the whole expression. So that is also fine. That will also work. Okay. So there are different practices. Like there are developer who used to follow different kind of, you can say that key patterns of writing the code. So यहाँ पे basically in the first one I've used a variable, but in the second one I haven't used the variable. I direct the statement there. So this is something like this. Now let's come to the next one. So I'll come to, so guys, the example which I have shown to you, जो मैंने example आपको दिखाया, in this one, if I put problem1.java, and if I just, now instead of this, if I write boolean a equal to true and boolean b equal to true, and if I just do system.out.println a and b, so now you can see that like here I'll get my output. So there will be different scenarios. So basically what I'll do is after this, I can change my value a equal to true, b equal to false. And then I'll again, the next scenario is a equal to false, b equal to false. And the last scenario is a equal to true and b equal to true. So now in that case, what I'm doing is I'm printing this, I'm putting this 4 places. Now if I execute it, Java, now you can see that like the first one is coming true, the second one is coming false, second one is coming false, and the last one is true. Okay. The first one I need to change. So that is true, false. So this is true and false. ठीक है, समझ में आया? Okay, so basically, guys, you can see that like only one statement is coming true, otherwise all are coming false. So now if I come to the next one, problem2.java. So this is something like an AND operator. Okay. And AND operator you can use like in very, very different ways. So that thing we can see, like if you are saying that Boolean A equal to, suppose if you are saying Boolean A equal to 5 greater than 3, 5 greater than 3, and the second one you are saying 6 greater than 3, then in that case, if you want to print the AND of it, okay, then in that case, what will happen? Suppose if I comment this code, now if I write Java and problem 1, this is wrong. It should be problem 2. So you can see that like one result is coming true because 5 is greater than 3. That is true. This is true. And the final output will be true. ठीक है. अब इसमें I want to tell you the use of it. Okay, इसका मैं use बताना चाहता हूँ. What is the use of it? Problem3.java. So the use of it is like, suppose if I am not writing this thing. Okay, suppose if I am writing this, if 5 is greater than 3, okay, if 5 is greater than 3, then what I want is, after 5 is greater than 3, then I'm saying that if 6 is greater than 3, then what I want is, like, I want to print some statement. So some statement, the one of the statement which I want to print is both are true. Now you can see this, like this is a nested if. Nested if basically means अगर ये दरवाजा खुला तभी इस दरवाजे में जाओगे. And if this condition is also true, then you will come to this part. And only in that scenario, what will happen is this statement will get executed. So now that means if you want to execute this statement, अगर आप इस यहाँ तक पहुंचना चाहते हो, तो ये दोनों दरवाजों की चाबी आपके पास होनी चाहिए. If you don't have suppose if this condition is true, but this condition is false, then in that case, this statement will not get executed. Okay, so another way of writing this statement is, if you want to write in another way, so the another way of writing this is 5 is greater than 3 and 6 is greater than 3. So both are actually saying the same thing. Okay, so that's why हमारे logical operator बनाए गए. Otherwise you can create like lot of like either otherwise you can do lot of nesting, like nested if, like if के अंदर if, उसके अंदर another if, उसके अंदर another. But in that case, what will happen is your code will look very complicated. But in this scenario, you can see that like if you are writing this way and this way, so I think this way is actually looking simpler and easier to understand. Got it? Got it? Guys, please tell me on the chat if you understood it. Okay. So now I'm coming to the next one. The one more thing is, it's not like you only like you can only combine two statements. You can combine infinite number of statements. जितने statement आप put कर सकते हो. So suppose if I am writing, this is problem 3. Problem 4.java. And here, like suppose if you are saying, if I'm saying problem 4, so 5 is greater than 3, and suppose you are saying 7 is greater than 5, and suppose you are saying 8 is greater than 3. So now you can see this, like these are the 4 statements I've written, and if all these conditions are true, then in that case both are true. So if I execute it, so you can say that all are true. Okay, so this is where we can use this thing. Now let's come to the next one. One second. Now the next problem which I'm going to solve is problem 5.java. So the next problem is the same gender problem. वो शादी वाला problem था ना, जो पिछली बार we solved it. So basically here what I'll do is, here I will be writing this thing, string gender equals to male, string int age. Okay, now like what I need to do is, if you know that like previously हमने एक कोड लिखा था, let's see. Previous session में हमने conditional statement किया था. So there we actually solved a code. So you know that like this is the marriage problem. This was the marriage problem which we solved it. Gender male, age is 21. And if gender is equal to male, if age is greater than 21, then we can say that male is eligible for marriage. So what is the other way of writing this? So you know that like one way is I'm writing a conditional statement, and inside that I'm writing the age part. So when I'm saying that male is eligible for marriage, only when the gender is male and age is 21, age is greater than 21, when both of the conditions are true. When both of the conditions are true, then only I can say that like this male is eligible for marriage. So same thing I can follow here. Okay, so I can say that if gender equals to male and age is greater than 21. So in that case, what I can say is age is greater than equal to 21. So it is a good practice that you will just put brackets. Okay, putting bracket is a good practice so that वो separately दोनों conditions को evaluate करेगा. So inside if gender is male and age is greater than equal to 20, then I can say that system dot out dot println male can marry. The other thing is the other condition which I can put is else if for female. Now, for female is if gender is female and age is greater than equal to 21, then in that case, what I will say is female can't marry. Female can marry. So you can see this thing like there are two codes written here. Okay. And if this condition is true and if this condition is true based on that. But if there is any third condition, then in that case, we can say that can't get married. So now just compare this code, like where you have done a lot of nesting and just this code where you have just written three conditions because we have used the logical operator. So this is the property of AND. Okay, I hope you understood it. Now let's move to the next one, that is logical OR operator. Let's move to the next one, that is logical OR operator. So in logical OR operator ये थोड़ा सा different होता है. So in this one, it gives true when one of the condition is true. अगर कोई भी एक condition true है, if any one of the condition is true, then in that case you will get a result true. Okay, so like suppose I'm talking about, I think you know that like there are many renting service. Okay, so one of the startup was Drivesy. Okay, so Drivesy used to say that like you can rent a bike from us, and for that you need to provide us two things. And suppose like the two things which they are asking is, suppose they are saying ki you need a Aadhaar card and you need a license. No, Drivesy is not a good. Suppose if I take an example of Masai only, MSAT. Suppose you are saying ki like you need two things. Either you have Aadhaar card or either you have voter ID card. Okay. If any of these two document you have, any one of it, then in that case, you are eligible for the test. So now you can see this. Like here I'm putting the Aadhaar card here. And now I am saying, suppose you have an Aadhaar card, you're saying yes. Voter card, no. Even in that case, you are eligible for test. If you are saying that ki, I don't have Aadhaar, but I have voter ID, in that case also you are eligible for. If you don't have both of the thing, then in that case, like this will be false. And if you have like both are the true, then in that case, the fourth one will be true. Getting it? So this is something like a result of OR operation. So this is known as logical OR. And how we used to represent this OR operation? So this is the symbol in Java. Okay. So now if I just go to the compiler and if I copy paste it and if I write problem6.java, if I copy paste it, now you can see that I am putting OR. So here instead of it, I'll write OR. Instead of it, I'll write OR. Instead of it, I'll write OR. And then I'll write OR. Now, here, if I just execute Java problem, not problem, this is problem 6. So now you can see that all of the conditions are true because at least सब में एक condition तो true है जिसमें one of the मतलब at least one of the statement is true ना, then in that case you will get the result true. But जहाँ पे both of the thing are actually false, then in that case you will get false. So that's why this is something like थोड़ा काफी different है and से. So now that is the main thing. Now I'll just tell you the beauty of it. So, like if I just come to this code, okay, and similarly, as I've put like in these examples, what I've done is I was using and, okay. So instead of it, what you can do is you can use it, you can use or here, okay. You can use or here. Then in that case, what will happen? If any of one of the condition will become true, then in that case you will get the result true. And in that case, it should not print all are true. So in that case, you can say that at least one is true. At least one statement is true. Okay. Like देखो and के लिए सब सही होना जरूरी है, बट और के लिए कोई एक भी सही है तब भी चलेगा. गेटिंग इट. एक पिताजी ऐसे हैं जो बोलते हैं कि सारे एग्जाम सारे सब्जेक्ट में पास हो तब तुम्हें प्राइज देंगे. एक पिताजी ऐसे हैं कि कोई भी एक एग्जाम में पास हो जाओ तब प्राइज मिलेगा. तो दो डिफरेंट है ना. डिफरेंस है बेसिकली लाइक बोथ ऑफ दीज थिंग्स. तो यू कैन सी अ डिफरेंस लाइक इट्स नॉट ओनली इन एंड और. पिताजी के डिफरेंस में भी आपको डिफरेंस मतलब पता चल गया कि नेचर कितना डिफरेंट है. एक कितने स्ट्रिक्ट है और एक कितने लाइट है. एक कितने ऑप्शन देते हैं और दूसरा इतना नहीं मतलब चीज़ों को स्ट्रिक्ट करते हैं. ये आप में भी आपके ऊपर भी चॉइस है आपको कौन सा बनना है. बट द मेन पॉइंट हेयर इज कि लाइक द rudeness of and the rudeness of or, so you can see that like you can directly understand this thing from the differences. So that's why like when I'm using or, okay, this is when you can say that at least one statement is true when you are putting or, not and. So here like here I've used the or statement. Now I'll go to the next one, problem 7.java. एंड अब इसमें क्या होगा देखो. वी वर सॉल्विंग दिस मैरिज प्रॉब्लम. ठीक है, वी वर सॉल्विंग दिस मैरिज प्रॉब्लम. I won't be going like I won't be writing like lot of code like I have written for and, okay, to because I have already shown a lot of examples with and. So you just what you need to do is you just need to replace it with or, and then you just need to see the behavior. Okay, because if any of the condition is true, then you will get an output. अब यहाँ पे I want to show you the beauty of it. अब देखो, if gender is male and age is greater than 21, then male can marry. Okay. If gender is female and age is greater than 80, then female can marry. Okay, that is the thing which you have written. That means either this condition can be true, like suppose whatever you are writing, either this condition can be true or this condition can be true. मतलब अगर इन दोनों में से, for example, if I just remove this thing, male can marry, I just need to give the answer कि शादी कर सकते हैं कि नहीं कर सकते हैं वो बात छोड़ो. ठीक है, हम ये नहीं बोल रहे हैं मेल या फीमेल. whatever condition you are putting, based on that I just want to answer can marry or not. So basically what I'll do is I will, here you can see that like this is a one statement gender. अब इसमें मैं क्या करूंगा, इसको मैं बड़े ब्रैकेट में डाल दूं. ये मेरे बड़े ब्रैकेट में आ गया. So this is something like one statement. This is a complete one statement. Now with that what I'll do, I'll put a, with that what I'll do, I'll put a or. ओके, और के साथ मैंने क्या करा, आई हैव पुट दिस अनदर कंडीशन. इसको मैंने एक पूरा पैक बनाया. द कंप्लीट पैक आई हैव पुट इट हेयर. नाउ अब व्हाट आई डू, आई विल रिमूव दिस एल्स. नाउ लेट्स सी दिस स्टेटमेंट. अब पूरी तरह से स्टेटमेंट को देखो. सो वन सेकेंड, वन सेकेंड, जेंडर इज मेल. and this is the closing bracket of this. Okay, now you can see the complete statement. ये दो स्टेटमेंट है बेसिकली. ओके, अगर ऐसे समझ नहीं आ रहा है तो ऐसे समझ लो. इसको मैं x रखता हूं, यहाँ पे I'll put it boolean x equal to, here I put a complete condition, here I'll write a boolean y equals to, and here I will write complete y. So here I'll put this thing. Now it's, so if either x is true or if y is true, if any of the condition is true, then I can say that they can marry, right or not? अगर या तो ये सही निकले या ये सही निकले, तो दोनों केसेस में दे कैन मैरी ना, बिकॉज बोथ ऑफ द कंडीशन आर सेइंग दैट कि यस, बोथ आर द वैलिड कंडीशन. बिकॉज व्हाट आर द वैलिड कंडीशन फॉर, यहाँ पे ना मैंने दोनों मेल रख दिया. One is for male and one for female. So these are the true condition for male. But even if both of the condition are giving false, then in that case, we don't have any option to say that like they can marry. Matlab, not they can, but it's something like whatever condition you are giving at the top. ठीक है. So ऐसे आप ना puzzles, that's why I was saying like experimenting things will make you learn a lot of things. Why? Then you will be able to try out things in a very different way. So here I'm just showing you one of the situation. Okay. So that is the main part. Now let's come to the next thing, that is, एक बस हम last चीज देख रहे हैं, that is switch case. The one of the thing which I am going to say is the last thing is switch case. उसके बाद directly we will move to loop. देखो switch case कुछ नहीं है. It is a very simple concept, and generally we don't, मतलब आप programming में it, there are very few scenarios where we use it. Okay, even in your programs what you will going to write, it's up to you how, like how, up इसके through how you will be going to write code. But the main thing is कि most of the thing you won't be using it a lot. Okay, there are few scenario where you will be using it. So I'll just tell you what are those things. So basically you know that like when I'm talking about switch case, so switch case is something, if I take an example of an ATM. Okay. So when you go to ATM, when you put your card, then ATM used to show you some option like one for withdrawal, second for suppose deposit, third for just want to see your, like what is your bank balance. Okay, suppose you want to see your balance. So what is happening when you are going to ATM? So when you are pressing one, so at that point there is some set of code which is getting executed. अब ऐसा तो नहीं होता ना विड्रॉल निकालने गए और वो आपको बैलेंस दिखा रहा है. Yeah, with like suppose you want to withdraw some money, but it is showing okay now let's and it is executing the code of depositing. So with each button there is some set of things which is attached to it. So that means when you are pressing one, so some set of code is getting executed. When you are pressing two, some set of code is getting executed. When you are pressing three, some set of code is getting executed. Okay, so this is something known as switch case. Switch case means when you are pressing something, something will get executed. Then how we used to write the switch case. So let's see. Problem a.java. If I copy it, if I paste it here, now in this case, what I'll do is int op. So basically what I'll do is how we used to, what is the syntax of writing switch case? Switch. First you need to write switch and then you need to put a bracket. Okay, and here what I'll do is I will start the switch. This is something like this. I'll open that. This is the opening and closing bracket. Now inside this, you need to put a, basically you need to give a kind of a option. So before that, before putting an option, let's create cases. तो इसमें क्या होता है, different cases होते हैं. Like case one. Case one basically means when you will press one button, what will happen? System.out.println. So we will learn loops. ठीक है. Then I'll create another case. The case two. Case two is when I'm copying this. So now I will say that we will learn arrays. Now I'll copy this and I'll execute it. Case 3, we will learn string. So this is some set of code which I have written here, na? So which will get executed. A default basically means when you are pressing any random button. आपने देखा होगा ना कि when you like in your ATM, suppose when you are pressing any random button, then your ATM will show that wrong choice or something like those kind of things. So that's why we have something known as default option. Okay, so इसमें we can say this thing wrong choice. So this is known as default. Okay, and then I can execute this code. Now here I need to give the option. So basically what I'll do is I'll give the option here. So which option I want to execute? So suppose I want to give the option, I want to execute the option. Suppose I'll create this variable name as option. So suppose I want to learn arrays. So I will just pick this one and I will put the option here. So जो भी आपकी choice है, you need to put here. So when you are putting option is true, when switch will see that okay, the option value is true, then it will directly go to this place and it will execute this thing. Okay. Now let's see whether it is giving me that kind of output or not. पहले ये समझते हैं कि हमें वो output दे भी रहा है कि नहीं दे रहा है. So this is problem 8 Java problem 8.java. So it is saying that we will learn array. So basically what is happening? It is coming, it is taking option 2 and it is directly coming to this one. And then it is also printing all these statements. We will learn string system dot out dot print wrong choice. But ऐसा क्यों? Why it happened? Why it happened? The reason for that is, देखो होता क्या है, अब मैं आपको internal बताता हूँ. Internal, what is happening is the whenever you are pressing one, so there is a wire which is connected to this code also, and there is a wire which is also connected to this one. Okay. So basically, if you are selecting one option, then it will execute this one, and this one. Because it is like the wire is connected with the second one also, no? The second one wire is also connected with third one. So basically what we need to do is we need to write something. We need to break this connection. We need to break this connection यहाँ पे. हमें इस connection को तोड़ना होगा और इसके भी connection को तोड़ना होगा. So for that we will write a statement which is known as break. What break will do? Break will break this connection. तो देखते हैं कहाँ कहाँ पे हम ब्रेक लिख सकते हैं. तो सपोज इफ आई आफ्टर दिस व्हाट आई कैन डू इज आई विल राइट अ ब्रेक. ओके, एंड आफ्टर दिस आई विल राइट अ ब्रेक, क्योंकि मैं नहीं चाहता कि व्हेन यू आर प्रेसिंग 2 तो वो नीचे जाए. एंड इफ आई एम राइटिंग ब्रेक, सो हियर आई विल डू ब्रेक. नाउ देयर इज नो नीड टू राइट ब्रेक लाइक इन आफ्टर डिफॉल्ट. डिफॉल्ट के बाद ब्रेक लिखने की कोई जरूरत नहीं. So suppose if I am writing problem 8.java, like suppose if I execute it, now let's see what will happen. So now you can see that I'm only getting this. We will learn arrays. So it is going to option 2 and now it is executing this and now the connection will break here and it will come out. Got it? Everyone understood? ठीक है. So now let's move to the next concept, that is our loops. So before going to this concept, like let's first understand the increment and decrement. Increment and decrement. Guys, first let me know, everyone of you have watched the आप सबने वो देखा like that thing, that session, that pre-class video. Okay, ठीक है. ओके, सो बेसिकली इसमें एक और कंसेप्ट है वैसे, सॉरी वो problem 9.java. So when I'm saying not, okay, so there is one more operator that is not, but not is not that challenging. Not is something ki when I'm writing this, so suppose if you are saying that boolean x is true, boolean x is true, so we have something known as not. So what not will do? Not is opposite of something. Suppose if you are applying not of x, if you print x, then it will give true. And if you put not of it, अगर आप x प्रिंट करोगे तो डायरेक्टली x प्रिंट हो जाएगा. बट इफ यू आर प्रिंटिंग not of x, so in that case this is the symbol of not, so it will give you the reverse value of x, opposite value of x. So suppose if I execute this, now you can see that this is something like true and the another value is giving is false. So not is something opposite of true, well, opposite of whatever the x value is. Suppose if it is false, then not will give true. Not of x will give true. ठीक है. थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूजिंग क्या होता है नॉट, आई जस्ट शो यू इन लाइक सिनेरियो. तो सपोज देर इज अ वेरिएबल. ओके, सपोज देर इज एन वेरिएबल boolean and boolean variable is fail. Okay, and suppose you are saying that I am fail. अगर आप ये कह रहे हो if I am fail, okay, तो if I write this condition, तो what I'll do is, तो basically if I am writing fail, so that means you are failed. तो I will write system dot out dot println you are failed. ठीक है, you failed. So this will give me this output. ठीक है, fine, we understood it. But if you are writing if not fail basically means, sorry, not, if you are saying not fail, तो इसका मतलब क्या है, आप पास हुए हो. ठीक है. नाउ इन दैट केस यू कैन नॉट से दैट लाइक, गेटिंग इट. देखो, अगर फेल का मतलब, अगर फेल ट्रू है, दैट मीन्स यू फेल्ड, दैट इज. बट व्हाट इज द अपोजिट ऑफ फेल? अपोजिट ऑफ फेल बेसिकली मीन्स व्हाट वी आर सेइंग इज कि नाउ यू हैव पास्ड. सो समटाइम्स थोड़ा सा वैसे सोच के देखोगे, देन यू विल गेट टू नो दैट, लाइक दैट्स व्हाई ये नॉट स्टेटमेंट ना कंफ्यूजिंग होती है. But don't worry, when you will like solve some problem on it, then you will get to know. Okay, so where we can write it. जैसे मैं कहता हूँ 2 not equal to 3, like all this kind of thing. तो 2 equal to 3, that is very easy to मतलब think कि okay 2 equal to 3 is false. 2 3 के इक्वल नहीं होता है. But when I say when 2 is not equal to 3, तो 2 3 के इक्वल नहीं है, that is true. ठीक है. So coming to the next one, that is increment decrement. So in increment decrement, you already know that, like for that you can watch the pre-class video. But the main thing here is कि when I'm talking about increment decrement, it means suppose if I want to, suppose x is 2 and if I want to increase the x by 1, so I will write x equal to x plus 1. Now your x value will become 3. अब आपकी x की value बन गई 3. When I will say that x equal to 2 and if you are decrementing the value by 1, then in that case your x will become 1. So if you are incrementing by 1 and if you are decrementing by 1, so this is how it will look like. So you can just write a code, and when you are writing x equal to 2, x equal to x plus 1, and when you just print s system dot out dot println x key value, then it will give you 3. But if you just do it system dot out dot println x, in that case it will give you value 1. But now the another way of writing x equal to x plus 1, ठीक है, इसका दूसरा रूप जो इसको लिखने का है वो है x प्लस प्लस और प्लस प्लस x माइनस माइनस और माइनस माइनस x. If you write in this way, na, that will also give you the same output. Okay, this will also give you the same output. Either you do x plus plus or plus plus x minus minus or minus minus x. देख लेते हैं. तो problem 10.java. So if I copy this, if I do this, and now if I write int x equal to, second, Okay. So basically you can see that x equal to, and suppose if I am writing 3, okay? And now suppose if I do x equal to x plus 1, and now if I print it, system dot out dot print l, and if I print x, so this is my x value. Now if I copy it, and now if I paste here, and instead of x if I write y, and y प्लस प्लस, मैंने y क्यों रखा, क्योंकि x की वैल्यू ऑलरेडी इंक्रीज हो गई, सो यू वोंट बी एबल टू सी द डिफरेंस, तब आप डिफरेंस देख पाओगे. So that's why I have put it y here, and now this is y. Now I'll copy this and I'll put z here, plus plus z. This is z, and now this is also z. Now let's see what will be the output of three of them. So this is 10. Let's see. So you can see that output is giving, like all of them is actually giving result as 4. That means x plus plus, either you write x plus plus x, that is same. Okay, either you write x plus or plus x, that is same. Or either you write x minus minus or minus minus x or same. तो जब same है तो पढ़ा क्यों रहे हो? So basically, why you are learning it? Then you can directly use it, na? So the main difference comes in, like, when you are doing assignment. When you are doing assignment, आपका वो वाला assignment की बात मत सोचना है जो हम आपको assignment देते हैं. This assignment basically means when you are putting this value to some variable. So this assignment I'm talking about, a equal to plus plus x and a equal to x plus plus. So in this case, the difference will come. Okay. In this case, what will happen? The difference will come. And then you will see that like different output is coming. ओके, गेटिंग इट. नाउ हाउ, लेट्स सी, देख लेते हैं, समझ लेते हैं कैसे. तो सपोज इफ यू आर राइटिंग, इफ आई एम सेइंग दैट लाइक सपोज इफ x वैल्यू इज 2, तो पहले ना दोनों के बिहेवियर को देख लेते हैं. सो व्हेन आई एम सेइंग प्लस प्लस x, ठीक है, एंड व्हेन आई एम सेइंग x प्लस प्लस, सो प्लस प्लस x ना बड़ा, यू कैन से दैट व्हाट वी कैन कॉल इट, यू कैन से दैट जो ना दूसरों के बारे में पहले सोचता है. ओके, जो दूसरों के बारे में पहले सोचता है, इट्स समथिंग लाइक हु केयर अदर्स फर्स्ट. सो दैट इज द, यू कैन कॉल इट दयावान. ओके, and when I'm talking about x plus plus, so it's not like very rude. Okay, don't call him x plus as a rude personality, but we can call him ki okay, who, जो सबसे पहले अपने बारे में सोचेगा. Okay, so what we can call him, no, not मतलबी. मतलबी is a wrong word ना, मतलब दूसरों के बारे में सोच रहा है बट पहले अपने को रख रहा है. स्वार्थी. आ, हाँ मतलब नॉट, ठीक है. आई एम सेइंग सेल्फ सेंटर्ड. ओके, दिस, ठीक है, पहले ये सेल्फ सेंटर्ड है, बेसिकली पहले अपने बारे में सोचेगा. सो इन दैट केस व्हाट विल हैपन, सो बेसिकली द थिंकिंग ऑफ एक्स इज फर्स्ट आई विल गिव टू अदर्स. ओके, एंड वन सेकेंड, इसको मैं दूसरी तरह से कैसे बोलूँ. अच्छा, पहले मैं आपको वैसे टेक्निकल टर्म बता देता हूँ इसका. सो दिस इज नोन एज, यू कैन सी दैट लाइक प्लस प्लस इज रिटन बिफोर एक्स. दैट मीन्स if plus plus is written before x, then you can say that this is a prefix operation. And if plus plus is written after x, then it is known as postfix operation. Okay, prefix and postfix. So basically when I'm saying कि जब मैं ये चीज बोलता हूँ, मैं प्लस प्लस एक्स और एक्स प्लस प्लस की बात करता हूँ, तो प्लस प्लस एक्स में क्या वो होती है प्रॉपर्टी. इस केस में एक्चुअली मैंने उल्टा कर दिया. बेसिकली दयावान ये है. ओके, एंड दिस इज द सेल्फ सेंटर्ड. So basically what will happen here, when I'm saying that when you are doing assignment, okay, वैसे तो दोनों के दोनों एक जैसे लगेंगे, when you will see both of them, then like it will look very similar. Okay, when you will see in this case, not in this case, in this case, आपका रियल बिहेवियर आपका आपका कब पता चलता है? आपके दोस्तों के साथ. So basically when actually the friends will come, then you will be able to see the real behavior of them. So here you can see that I am writing the same statement c equal to x plus plus. Okay. And here, suppose my x value is, suppose my value of x is, here I am writing my x value. And suppose initially my x value is 2. So what will happen in this scenario and what will happen in this scenario? So you know that like this x is actually self-centered. What this x will do, it will first increment its value. Okay, so there will be two variables ना, हमें दो value होंगी. तो अभी right now you know that like x value is 2, but we don't know the value of c. Now in this case, what will happen when this code will execute? Plus plus x will say that, okay, first I'll see myself. First I'll do my job, then I'll give my value to you. So plus plus x will increment its value. So x value will get incremented by 1. And then he'll say that, okay, now I'm giving my value to you. Now c will get 3. ठीक है, या फिर ऐसा कह लो पहले मैं तो मुनाफा कमा लूं फिर तुम्हें देता हूं. So that is a way of saying this thing. Now the second thing is when I'm showing x plus plus. So x plus plus is saying this thing ki when you are doing the same thing, x is equal to 2. In that case, x plus plus will say that I will not increment my y value. First, I'll give my value to you. So now c will get 2. Now after that, x value will get, you can say that, incremented. So here, just the difference is first this operation is happening, then second this operation is happening. But in this one, the first this operation is happening, and then second this operation is happening. Getting it? So just try to understand this thing with with prefix and postfix. Prefix is something like who will first basically increment its own value. So 2 से आखिरी में आउटपुट आपको थोड़ा डिफरेंस ये दिखेगा देने के मामले में. अपने मामले में तो दोनों की वैल्यू सेम ही रहेगी, बट देने के मामले में इसने पहले बेसिकली दे दिया. देने के मामले में इसने पहले इंक्रीमेंट कर दिया एंड देन it has actually given the value. But in this case, what is given? It has given the value first and then it actually incremented its own value. So if I just write this thing, problem 11 dot job. Now here what I'll do, here I'll write this thing int x equal to 3 system dot out dot println. I will do x plus plus. Okay. And this is the case of, and now suppose if I'm taking the variable, so suppose I'm here I'm taking the different variable y, because एक बार x की value बदल गई then you won't be able to see the difference. So here I'll just create another variable c, int c. Now c is, here I'm writing x plus plus. Okay, and I'll print the value of c and x. This is the value of c, and c equal to x plus plus, c equal to plus plus y. And here I'll print the value of c. Now I'll remove this. Now you can see that like this is c and x. यहाँ पे मैं एक और लाइन खींच देता हूँ. So now you will be able to see the difference because here I've taken x equal to 3, y equal to 3, and c, the variable c is same. And now let's see what will be the output. Okay, can you guess the output of both of them? Just tell me what is the value, what will be the value of c and what will be the value of y. Okay, error. ओके, यू नीड टू गिव मी द सेपरेट वैल्यू. ठीक है, यहाँ पे सेपरेट वैल्यू आना चाहिए, सेपरेट. मतलब हाँ, you need to give me actually four answer, four, because the output will be four values na, the value of c and x, the value of c and y. ठीक है. So let's see problem 11 dot java. Let's execute this. What will happen? So now you can see that the output is coming 3 4. How? Let's see it. So now you know that x equal to 3 and c, here this is the variable c. Now what will happen? C equal to x plus plus. So the value of, so you know that this is written c equal to x plus plus. X plus plus means I will give my value first to you and then I'll increment my value. Now then in that case c will get 3. Now x is saying that I will increment my value. Now x will increment its value 3 to 4. Now here what will happen? Y is equal to 3, c plus plus y. It is saying first I will increment my value and then I'll give it to you. So y will become 4 and then c will give 4. So that's why c and y is 4 and c 3 and x 4. Okay, got it? ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. Later when you solve the question, then you will understood, you will understand all these concepts. Okay, तो ज़्यादा चीज़ें हम अप्लाई करके सीखते हैं, not just by learning those things at that point. Now I'm coming to the while loop. Now I am coming to the while loop concept. ठीक है, let's have a 2 minute break, then we'll continue. ठीक है, नहीं तो आपका भी ओवरफ्लो हो जाएगा. Okay, so I was talking about loop. Okay, so what is loop? It's something like the kind of instruction which you want to execute repeatedly x number of times. Okay, it depends upon you, like how many times you want to execute that same instruction. So you have seen the kind of a loop thing, I think in your daily routine kind of thing, because you know your daily routine is kind of a loop because every day it is getting repeated. The way you wake up, okay, then going to like brush your teeth and like then following the other routine. So it's something like very same, and every day this pattern is actually getting repeated. So this is something like showing a kind of a loop. Okay, whenever a kind of a pattern is actually keep on repeating, then basically we used to call it a loop. The example, one of the example is like in the playlist. Okay, suppose you created a playlist on YouTube and you repeatedly used to play those songs. Okay, suppose you made a playlist of 4 songs. Then in that case, you have seen this thing. So you just what you used to do, you used to just start the playlist. The first song, second song, third song, fourth song, then again the first song, second. So this is something like a kind of a playlist which should happen. Now the second example is ये बहुत, like I think you can relate with this example better. Suppose दिवाली का टाइम है, ओके, और सपोज घर में शादी है. नाउ यू नो दैट लाइक सपोज मेनी गेस्ट हैज कम टू लाइक एट योर होम एंड सपोज देयर आर 10 गेस्ट. And now what happened after Diwali period, or you can say that after that wedding period happened, like after that wedding period, what will happen? Those 10 guests want to, like, what you need to do is, like, suppose you are there and you want to uh, drop them to the railway station. Okay, because finally after, you can say after spending 3 days, तो 4th day में उनको वापस जाना है. Now what you will do is, imagine that you have a bike. Okay, आपके पास एक बाइक है and you need to drop them to the railway station, and at that bike you can only, आप एक ही को ले जा सकते हो एक बारी में. Now what will happen, what you will do is, you will put one guest here and then drop them to the railway station and then you will come back. And then you will again in your bike, what you will do is, you will pick the another you can say another guest, and then you will pick to the railway station and then you will come back. So basically you are following the pattern. So this is a kind of a loop which will keep on repeating. Okay, and आप हो सकता है आपके दिमाग में ये भी आएगा कि यार हम क्या भी कर सकते हैं. ठीक है, मैं थोड़ा पुराने जमाने की बात कर रहा हूँ, बट like this concept will help you in understand that funda. Later when we'll understand the break and continue concept. Okay, वो इससे हमें समझ में आएगा काफी अच्छे से. So now coming to the next part, so there are two kinds of loop. Okay, in programming, generally the kind of a loop which we use is mostly the one is while loop and the another one is for loop. Today I'll be going to talk about only while loop. Okay, so we can loop things but in different ways. So one is while loop and another one is for loop. Now, when I talk about while loop, so basically while loop लिखने का एक तरीका होता है. तो इसके लिए I have given already in the pre-class video I have given an analogy. The one of the analogy which I have given to you is, suppose imagine that you are running a sprint. Okay, you are running a sprint race of 100 meters. Sprint rate of race of 100 meters. Now suppose you are standing here और यहाँ से कूद फांद के आपको आखिरी तक पहुंचना है. ठीक है, and suppose you need to reach to this 100-meter thing, and now you are standing at 0 meter, 1 meter, 2 meter, 3 meter, 4 meter. अब just try to understand one thing here. When you need to complete this race, okay, so what you will do is, so this is kind of a jumping race. Okay, so what you will do, you will make a jump here, then you will make a jump here, then you will make a jump here, and finally when you will reach to the 100 meter, then you will stop. अब ऐसा तो नहीं होगा ना भागते ही चले जाओगे. You know that there is a finish line. After that you will get stopped. So understand one thing, what is the loop here? Loop is the jumping process. So you are continuously jumping. And why you're jumping? Because you need to reach 200 meters, the final like the final, you can say that finish line. Now, understand one thing, whenever we used to talk about loops, so there are three things which is very important. कहाँ से शुरू कर रहे हो? कहाँ से शुरू किया? जाना किधर है? फिनिश लाइन कहाँ है? And every point, how many jumps you are making? How many jumps at each step you are making? Okay, how many jumps you are making at each step? So basically so you can see that in this case you are starting from 0th position and then you are going to the 100th meter, like this is the final point where you need to reach. And the second thing is, at every point you are making a jump of 1. Okay, so suppose your variable, suppose I'm saying that your position here is 0. Suppose your position here is 0. After making one jump, your position will be 1. After making another jump, then your position will be 2. So you can see that how this position is keep on incrementing. Okay, how your position is keep on incrementing, and then finally you will reach to the 100 thing. So in loop also, when in programming in loop, so there are three things which are very important. So the same thing, starting point, we used to call it initialization. Okay, initializing the starting point and all this value. Second thing is the finish line. Finish line, it's something like till when, मतलब आपका loop कहाँ तक चलेगा? Till when your loop will run. So here you can call it, अगर मैं यहाँ पे इसको बोलूँ, you can see that till your position is, जब तक आपकी position less than 100 है. So this is something like a final point. Okay, so there are two things which is very important: initialization and your final point. Final point is position is less than equal to 100. Till your position is less than equal to 100, you will keep on like doing the jump. The third thing is, the third very important thing is how many jumps at each step you are making. So you are actually making one jump at each step. One jump at each step. So if you want to run a loop, so there are these three things which is required. The first thing, from where you're starting, where you're till where you're going, and at each point, basically, आप कितने jump ले रहे हो. Okay, so this will actually depends upon the loop. Now, if I talk about while loop, so how we used to write the while loop? While loop is actually write like this. So while, and here we used to put the condition. यहाँ पे हम condition रखते हैं. यहाँ पे हम initialization रखते हैं. यहाँ पे basically we used to decide our starting point, initialization, and here we used to write the code whatever we want to do, and here we used to decide our jumps. Okay, यहाँ पे हम अपना jump decide करते हैं. That is increment or decrement. Increment or decrement. If I take another analogy, the same analogy is like if I assume that this is again a 100-meter race. Okay. And in this 100-meter race, you are standing here. No, you are not standing here. You are actually standing at this point. And this, suppose this is a 100-meter position. This is 99-meter. And now you need to run in a reverse direction till 0 meter. So even if you are running in a reverse direction from 100 meter to 0 meter, this is also a loop. यहाँ पे starting point क्या है? यहाँ पे starting point है 100. Finish point क्या है? 0. कितना कूदोगे एक बारी में? एक एक jump. So this is also defining a loop. So loop can mean any direction. Okay, so this is why. Now I just want to tell you why basically you are learning loop. Now remember one thing, कि suppose if I want to execute a code, if I want to execute a code, if I want to execute a code, guys, do you have session at 1? Guys, do you have session at 1? ठीक है, then I can take 5 to 10 minutes more. ठीक है, so basically when I'm talking about suppose you need to print something like hello world. Now that is fine. Okay, that same example I have taken in pre-class also. Like this is your code which you want to execute. Okay, this is sample one. But if you want to print hello world 2 times, then what you will do? अगर आपको hello world 2 बार लिखना हो तो 2 बार print करना हो तो आप क्या करोगे? Obviously, you will again write this thing. What if you want to print hello world 100 times, then you will write it 100 times. But if you want to print hello world 1000 times, ठीक है, मसाई का कोड खत्म हो जाएगा और आप हेलो वर्ल्ड लिखते रहोगे, इतना टाइम लगेगा. ठीक है, सो दैट इज द मेन पॉइंट व्हिच आई वांट टू शो यू इज लाइक देयर आर सम थिंग्स. इफ आई नो द काइंड ऑफ अ टास्क, if I know the activity, if I know the set of tasks which I need to repeat, then why I am writing it again and again? Isn't there any other concept? Isn't there any other way through which I can basically do this thing in a very fast manner? Because I know that I need to repeat this thing. So that's why the loop concept came. Okay, now imagine that if I give you an example, suppose in Amazon, okay, Amazon has a list of you can say that, just imagine that, suppose there are 1 million customers. And now one day Amazon decided that we want to give 100 rupees credit to each one of them. सबके कैश वॉलेट में हम 100 रुपए सब फ्री में ऐड कर रहे हैं. अब suppose developers are sitting there and they are going into the database and they are saying that okay, मोहन के 100 रुपए बढ़ाओ. पहले कितने थे? 200, तो 300 कर दो. Now coming to the next customer, then they are going to the database and then they are changing the value. Suppose previous value is 150, now they are making it 250 because 100 rupees they have promised it. अगर manually they started doing it ना, like in a sequential manner, so अगला जन्म आ जाएगा लेकिन वो फिर भी चेंज करते रहेंगे. So main point here is in terms of like when there are a lot of, because I told you in the beginning there are 1 million customers. Okay, so in that case, instead what they can do, so programming is actually providing a kind of concept loop through which they can do a looping in the database. And हमारा टास्क फिर से 100 रुपए बढ़ाओ, सबके 100 रुपए बढ़ाओ. और 100 रुपए बढ़ाना बड़ा आसान है, बस इट्स समथिंग लाइक वी नीड टू डू अ लूप एंड टास्क इज वेरी डिफाइंड. टास्क डिफाइंड है कि 100 रुपए सबके बढ़ाने हैं. Then in that case we can achieve through programming and through this loop concept. So that's why we are learning this loop thing. Now let's see how we can execute, how we can write it. So basically if you want to write the loop, so this is the way. What I will do is I will write while. Okay, and while, and here I need to put the condition while is in small, and here I need to write the condition. And after writing the condition, basically here I'll put my task, whatever I want to do, print ln. So basically here I want to do hello world, and now here I'm putting true. True means it's something like this condition is true, then execute this, then come back here. Then if this condition is true, then execute it. Now if I run it, so now let's see what will happen. Java problem 12 dot Java. Let's see what will be the output. Now you can see that the hello world is keep on printing. अभी आपको ऐसा लग नहीं रहा है लेकिन ये continuously प्रोग्राम अभी चल ही रहा है. Okay, and it is still printing hello world. Now if I want to stop it, then how I just need to put control C. So by control C I'm forcefully stopping it. So now the problem here is I haven't put, मैंने तो इतना बोल दिया भागो, उसके बाद बोला ही नहीं कब रुकना है. That's why it is very important that when you are saying that, when you are telling through loop कि you need to do this task, आपको ending point भी देना पड़ेगा. Ending point we used to give through this condition. So basically, if I write this condition, like suppose int I equal to 0, and while my I is less than equals to 100, or suppose if I'm saying 10, so till that point, what you will do is you will execute this. Now, if I execute this, let's see what will happen. If I execute this, let's see what will be the output. Now, in this case, it it still keep on executing the hello world again and again, and it's still going to the infinite. So this is also wrong. Okay, why it is happening? क्योंकि देखो 0 is less than equal to 10, that is true. Hello world get printed. Now again 0 is less than equal to true. Hello world, it will get printed. Now we are not incrementing this value. ठीक है, तो हमें उसकी वैल्यू को बढ़ाना भी पड़ेगा. I equal to I plus 1, or you can write I plus plus. So in that case, what will happen if I just execute this code again? Now let's see what will happen. So you can see that like this is the way how this code is actually got executed. Now let's see the dry run of it. अब इसका ना एक बार dry run देख लेते हैं. तो अगर मैं यहाँ पे I less than equal to 5 रख लूँ, जो मैंने सेम प्री क्लास वाली वीडियो में भी put it. So 1 second. So you will see that like the output will come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. This is actually printing 6 times and I is less than equal to 5. So let's see how it is actually happening. ये कैसे हो रहा है? So suppose if I am saying I equal to 0, and after I equal to 0, I am saying while I is less than equals to 5, and in this one SOP system.out.println, and I'm printing hello. Okay. Now here I'll stop it. I'll write I equal to I plus 1. This is the point. Now like here I'll just get. Now we will see the dry run of it. Guys, one thing I want to mention here is when you are running your code manually, this is known as dry run. Okay, when you are running your code on copy, and then you're seeing that okay, at any step what is happening, what is the output at each step. So this process is actually known as dry run. And remember one thing, as a developer, this is a core skill which you need to learn. अब ये स्किल आप कैसे सीखोगे? कॉपी पेन हाथ में लेके. अगर आपने वो नहीं किया, देन बिकॉज आफ्टर कीप ऑन डूइंग प्रैक्टिस ना एक ऐसा पॉइंट आएगा व्हेन जस्ट बाय सीइंग द कोड यू विल अंडरस्टैंड दैट ओके एट दिस पॉइंट द आउटपुट विल बी दिस. बट इफ यू आर नॉट डूइंग इट, देन इट इज समथिंग लाइक अ, यू कैन से दैट ये एक बहुत बड़ी मिस्टेक होगी. तो रिमेंबर वन थिंग, व्हेन यू आर एक्चुअली राइटिंग द कोड, जस्ट डू द ड्राई रन. एंड इन केस ऑफ लूप इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, क्योंकि लूप में तो दिमाग ऐसा खोएगा ना, ऐसी भूल भुलैया में फंसोगे तो वहां से निकल नहीं पाओगे फिर. क्योंकि दिमाग में अगर चलाना शुरू कर दिया, क्योंकि देर आर मेनी आइटरेशंस which you need to learn in which you need to run in your mind. So the point here is like that's why I'm saying dry run is very important skill. Now let's see how while loop actually works. So if I talk about initialization, and here while condition, and then your code, and then we used to write increment or decrement operation. Now here I'm giving some number to it. So always when your code will run, it will come to this place, and then it will come to condition. If condition is true, then it will run to execute this third part, this code part, and then it will come to the increment decrement. Code कितने भी line का हो सकता है. यहाँ पे जरूरी नहीं 1 line 2 line. It could be like any number of line, but here I'm saying third, and then it is fourth. Now how your code will execute? One, the first statement will get executed, then it will come to condition 2, then it will come to code, third, then it will come to fourth, this one, and then after coming executing this fourth, now it will again go to the second one. Okay, अब ना बस एक गाना याद रख लो, 1 2 3 4, ठीक है, फिर 2 3 4 और बोलते रहना, 1 2 3 4, फिर 2 3 4, 2 3 4, 2 3 4, दिस इज समथिंग लाइक लूप. And that thing you need to understand. So this is a kind of a pattern: 2 3 4, 2 3 4, 2 3 4, and this is the way how the code actually is to get executed. So basically, here you can see this thing, like this is initialization fast 2 3 and 4. Now, if you are executing it, 1 2 3 4, 2 3 4, किसी को मेरे को रिदम देनी है वो भी दे सकता है, किसी को गिटार बजाना है वो भी बजा सकता है. And second thing is, like what I'll do here, I'll put this thing यहाँ पे, I'll create, ठीक है. Now, so basically what I'll do is, here I'll write I equal to 0. Okay. Here I'll write I less than equal to 5. Here I'll write the code part, SOP hello. This is my fourth part. And here I'll write the I equal to I plus 1. Why I'm writing it? Because I am saying that this is my first part, this is second part, 2 3 4. So the song will be like this: 1 2 3 4, 1 2, like not 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 2 3 4. So now after coming to first, I equal to 0, I less than 0, 0 is less than equals to 5. That is true. ये सत्य है. उसके बाद hello. उसके बाद I equal to I plus 1. That will become 1 because we are incrementing I in 0. Now coming to the second point. Now let's come to the second point. Now 1 is less than equals to 5. That is true. Then is hello. Then I will become 2. Then come to 2. 2 is less than equals to 5. That is true. Then print hello. Then I will become 3. Then 3 is less than equals to 5. So 2 3 4, just the same thing I'm executing. 2 3 4, 2 3 4. 3 is less than 5. That it will print hello. Now I will become 4. Now 4 is less than equals to 5. That is hello. Okay, I equal to 5. Now 5 is less than equals to 5. That is hello. And then in that case, what will happen? You can see that I equal to 6. Now 6 is less than equals to 5. So this is, you know that like this is a false. When this is false, it will come out of it. अब गिन लो, 1 2 3 4 5 6, 6 बार hello print हुआ है. So that's why this hello world is actually got printed 6 times. Got it? So that's why I'm saying dry run is the key. नहीं तो ये समझ नहीं आएगा, 0 से शुरू किया था, 5 किया तो 6 कैसे आ गए. So that's why I'm saying like this concept is very important. Now coming to the next part. अब ठीक है, अब now let's imagine I'm just writing the creating another file, problem13.java, and now here you can see this, like I equal to 0, and the loop is starting from while I less than equal to 5. Suppose I want to run the loop for 100 times. Okay, and with that I also want to print my I value, so I'll write plus and I. So now in this case, let's see what will be the output. In this case, let's see what will be the output. So the output will be Java problem 13.java. Now you see this hello 0, hello world 0, hello world 1, hello world 2, because I have also printed the I value, because I values keep on changing. And you can see that like at each point it is making a jump of 1. Now what if I just make a jump of 2? If I make a jump of 2, now let's see what will happen. Now 0 2 4 6 8 10. Now you can see that it is making a jump of 2. Now what if I make a jump of 5? Okay, so you can make a jump of 5 also. And what if you want to make a jump of 15? So that is also possible. Now, if I want to run a reverse loop, starting from 100 and going into the initial point, then how will I do it? Problem 14.java. If I want to run a reverse loop. Now tell me one thing. When I was, जब मैं आपको ये बता रहा था कि suppose you started your point, जब suppose you want to run a reverse loop from 100 to 0. Now tell me, what is your starting point? What is your starting point? 100. What is your ending point? What is your ending point? That is 0. Okay. And how many jump you are making? Suppose 1. Now I know that my starting point is 100. Okay, that is fine. And I want to like go till 100 end. So I think you already remember this thing कि when I was, जब मैं यहाँ से 0 से 100 की तरफ जा रहा था, then at that point I put this condition while position is less than equal to 100. जब तक ये true है. Now tell me in this way, like in this case, when I'm going from 100 to 0, when I'm going from 100 to 0, then what should be my condition? While position, what should be my condition? What should be my condition for position? यहाँ पे तो position less than equal to 100 है. देखो, position ये होनी चाहिए कि at every point ना my, like whatever my position value be, it should be greater than equal to 0. यहाँ पे क्या है, मैं 100 से छोटा होना चाहिए at every point, because my position is changing. Position is 0, then 1, 0 is less than 100, 1 is less than 100, 2 is less than 100, 3 is less than 100, 4 is less than 100, in this way. But here in this case, it should be 100. It should be greater than 0. It should be greater than 99. It should be greater than, sorry, it should be greater than 0. 98 is greater than 0. 97 is greater than 0. At the point when 0 is greater than 0, then that will also execute, but minus 1 is greater than 0, that is false. So it will stop at this point. So remember one thing, putting a right condition is very important. Okay. Because we are running in a opposite direction. So if I just write this thing, and this is my problem 14, and here I'm saying that my I should be, or if I write position, so my position should be greater than 0 if I want to run a, and my position should be 100. Okay, my position is actually 100 because I'm starting from this is my starting point. Now tell me one thing, what should be my I value? It should be I equal to I plus 1, is it? It should be I equal to I plus 1. You know that no, my I value is continuously decreasing. So that is the main thing. Now let's see. Now if I execute this, let's see what will be the. It is position actually, sorry. Position equals to position minus 1. देखो, when you're saying what about I equal to 0? I equal to 0 क्यों होगा? क्योंकि हम पोजीशन तो 100 से शुरू कर रहे हैं ना, 100 से पीछे की तरफ भागेंगे. So if I execute this, hello world, here I'm executing I values. So need to print. Now you can see that 100, 99, 98, 97, 96, 95. If you decrement by 5, then in that case, you will be making a jump of 5 and in the opposite direction. So you can see that like you are making a jump of. So this is how you can run a reverse loop. Okay. Now I want to tell you one thing. So I want to explain one of the concept. Okay. Now I want to explain you one of the concept is like the concept with, like suppose here I was printing this value, तो मैं वापस वही लूप चलाता हूँ पोजीशन जीरो से लेके पोजीशन जीरो से and now in this case what will happen? Okay, so one student is asking me what if I start with zero, so let's see what will happen अगर मैं इसको जीरो से रन करता हूँ. So now it is printing hello world zero. Why? Just go to the dry run part. ठीक है, ड्राई रन की मेहनत करनी है तभी समझ में आएगा चीजें. So basically here you can see that like position is zero. Position is actually zero here. Position is zero. Now why it is printing hello world zero? So position is zero is greater than zero. Then what will happen is, so position, so zero is greater than equal to zero. So I'll write here. So here it is written position is greater than equal to zero. So that means zero is equal to zero. So that is true. Now after that, this condition will get executed. So what will happen? Hello world and position is, what is the value of position? That is zero. Now position equals to position minus 5. So position equal to position minus 5 matlab 0 minus 5. So that will be minus 5. Now it will again come to this part where minus 5 is greater than equal to 0. So that is false. So that's why it come out of the loop. And now that's why your output is hello world 0. That's why your output was hello world 0. So if you just do the dry run, then you will understand everything. So I've already explained you how you can do the dry run. ठीक है, अभी now the next point here is कि if suppose I am writing if I write this code only, suppose अब suppose you want to print only the even numbers, ठीक है. तो पहले मैं आपको बता देता हूँ even number हम कैसे print करते हैं. So किन नंबर को हम even कहते हैं? द नंबर विच आर डिविजिबल बाई टू. ठीक है, तो सपोज हमारे पे एक नंबर है इंट k इक्वल टू 4 and I want to check that whether this number is even or not, k equal to 4. So what I'll do is I will just write if k modulus 2, if dividing the number k with 2 is giving me 0, is giving the remainder 0, then I can say that system.out.println this is even. Okay, else you can say that this is odd, else it will say that, you can say that, then you can say that it is odd. Now if I execute this code, now let's see, sorry, problem 15. Now if I execute this code, now let's see what will happen. K is 4, it will check that k is divisible by 2. Matlab divisible by 2 basically it's checking that whether the remainder is coming 0. Yes, now it is giving me this is even, otherwise this is odd. But here you can see that like, but if I put it k equal to 3, then in that case now you can see that this is giving odd. So this is the logic for checking whether a number is even and odd. Now if I come to this part, if I come to this logic and if I write problem 16.java, now try to understand this thing ki if I copy this code and paste here and if I just print the value of I, मैं सिर्फ यहाँ पे I की वैल्यू प्रिंट करता हूँ और I को एक ही से दौड़ाता हूँ. Okay, now I'll execute this code. This is problem 16. This is problem 16. And if I execute it, now let's see what will be our output. Now our output is 0 to 100. 0 to 100 is our output is coming. अब देखो, इतने पार्ट को मैं टच नहीं करता हूँ. ये मेरा कोड है जिसको मैं एग्जीक्यूट करवाने की कोशिश कर रहा था. ठीक है, getting it? Now what I'll do is, you can see that in this code what I'm doing is I'm checking that whether a number is even and odd. So what I'll do, I'll copy this code. This is the logic for even and odd. इतने कोड को मैंने टच नहीं किया, like it is same because this is actually running a loop for I. Instead of this, I'll paste the code here. And I know that I don't have any variable k, I'll just write I. So what it will do, what this code will do is, it will check that whether whatever the I number is coming, जो भी I number की supply हो रही है, उसको check करेगा even है कि नहीं है, and then it will print me that this is even. And if that number is odd, then it will print me that that number is odd. So अगर मैं execute करूं, let's see what will be the output. This is even, this is odd, this is even, but ये किस number की बात कर रहा है? Just put I, comma I. Here I'll put comma I, so that I'll also get to not plus, put a plus. So if I just put a plus, now let's see. This is even 0, this is odd 1, this is even 2, this is odd 3. देखो इसे कहते हैं गन्ने की मशीन चलाना, ठीक है? पुराने वाले कोड से आई हैव टेकन आउट दिस इवन ऑड लॉजिक, एंड आई नो दैट लाइक दिस इज द कोड फॉर एग्जीक्यूटिंग अ लूप, एंड आई वैल्यूज, द वैल्यू ऑफ आई इज आई एम कंटिन्यूसली गेटिंग इट, okay, because the loop is running, and that I value I'm using here. And if that I mod to is giving me remainder 0, then in that case I'm saying that this is even with that number. Similarly, this is odd. So automatically what will happen? And here you can, so this is the reason what I was saying ki, like suppose if you want to, if here in this case I'm only checking for one number whether that number is even or odd. बट अगर मैं आपको 2000 नंबर दे दूं और बोल दूं इन नंबरों पे चेक करके बताओ कि इवन है कि ऑड है, तो मैंने बोला था ना एक जन्म लग जाएगा. Okay, why I said this? Because if you are continuously writing this logic 1000 times or 2000 times, so it will take a lot of time. But in this case, what will happen? This loop is making sure that I will execute this code 1000 times for you. Even if you want to execute it 10,000 times, that logic will work for you. Even if you execute it for 10,000 times. और 10,000 टाइम्स का काम आपके लिए बिल्कुल सेकंड्स में हो गया. गॉट इट एवरीवन? ओके, इसमें बस एक लास्ट कंसेप्ट आई वांट टू टेल यू. द लास्ट कंसेप्ट इज द कंसेप्ट ऑफ ब्रेक. द कंसेप्ट ऑफ ब्रेक. ओके, आई एम गोइंग बैक विद द सेम एनालॉजी, वो मेहमानों वाली. लाइक वेडिंग फंक्शन चल रहा है, 10 मेहमान है, ओके, एंड यू हैव अ सिंगल बाइक, ठीक है? एंड नाउ व्हाट विल हैपन, you are actually taking the guest one by one and dropping them to the railway station, suppose the first. Now tell me, like, imagine that situation happening, that you are going to the railway station, then you are coming back. आप पहले guest को ले गए, फिर आप दूसरे guest को ले गए. Loop is running. Now suppose that in the third part, like when you were actually dropping the third person, then at that point ये पता चलता है कि ट्रेन निकल गई. अब मुझे बताओ, when you will come back, तो आप चौथे मेहमान को ले जाओगे रेलवे स्टेशन? Okay, so that means at this point the condition is break. Break means after that whatever the code is there, matlab whatever the statements, whatever the statement which are waiting to get executed, they will not get executed at that point. Break is something like stopping your execution. Breaking means stopping. Okay, at that point we are not executing the further statements. So now suppose if I take the same example here, so in this one you will understood it, problem 17.java. इसके साथ थोड़ा सा आप खेल सकते हो, कल वी विल सी मोर प्रॉब्लम ऑन इट. One second, problem 16. What happened to Replit? So basically, if I create a problem, problem 17.java. Now let's see. आप में से कितने लोग प्रे कर रहे थे कि सेशन खत्म हो जाए? देखो अभी चल ही नहीं रहा है। So problem 17.java. Okay. So I'm coming here. So I'll just go to this one, copy it, paste here. ठीक है. And मैंने क्या किया है यहाँ पे? Like this code I've pasted. So what this code is actually doing is, यहाँ पे जाता हूँ problem 3. So this code I want to execute. This is the linear code, and at every point it is printing hello world. Okay. Now let's suppose if I execute this Java प्रॉब्लम 13.java. 13 नहीं होना चाहिए, 17 है. So basically if I execute this 17.java, now let's see what will happen. Now you know that like what is happening, 0 1 2 3 and it is actually executing till 100. Now अब मैं यहाँ पे क्या करता हूँ, मैंने यहाँ पे एक चीज लिख दी. if मैंने यहाँ पे एक कंडीशन लिख दी. ऑलवेज रिमेंबर कि whenever we use if we need to put a condition. ठीक है. अब आप मुझे बताओ टिल विच पॉइंट यू वांट टू एग्जीक्यूट दिस, मतलब आप किस पॉइंट तक इसको एग्जीक्यूट करना चाहते हो. ओके मैनी आर सेइंग 50. ओके तो हम ये आपके ऊपर है, आपने 50 लोगों को आप रेलवे स्टेशन तक पहुंचा रहे हो. ठीक है. सो हेयर व्हाट आई विल डू इज इफ आई इज इक्वल्स टू 51, आई एम सेइंग दैट व्हेन आई एम सेइंग दैट 51, then at that point just break it. Okay, so let's see what will happen if I execute it. अब 50 मेहमान रेलवे स्टेशन पहुंच गए, 50 मेहमान आपके घर पे रह गए, तो एक रात और रुकेंगे. तो गेस रीच्ड द रेलवे स्टेशन एंड नाउ यू कैन सी दैट like it is actually the value is still 50. Okay, so this is how we are actually stopping this thing. But there is one more thing which I want to tell you. There is another concept which is known as continue. Continue में कुछ नहीं है, same है. Okay, continue is the same analogy I'm using. घर में वेडिंग फंक्शन है, 10 मेहमान है, you have one bike. Okay, and you are dropping them to the railway station. पहले मेहमान को छोड़ा रेलवे स्टेशन में, and then you came back, and then you take the like another guest and you drop them to the railway station, and then you came back. Now tell me, if suppose when you came back and you find out that the third guest is sick. ठीक है, चाचा जी को कोरोना हो गया, अब क्या करोगे आप? उनको ले जाओगे उठा के जबरदस्ती? हाँ वैसे तो ले जाओगे ही ऑब्वियसली, बट द पॉइंट हियर इज, हाँ मतलब हॉस्पिटल ले जाओगे, बट द पॉइंट हियर इज इट्स नॉट लाइक ना कि व्हेन द थर्ड पर्सन इज एक्चुअली गेटिंग सेक्स, तो इट डजंट मीन कि आप फोर्थ पर्सन को नहीं ले जाओगे. यू विल स्किप दैट पर्सन ना, यू विल स्किप दैट पर्सन, बट यू विल टेक द फोर्थ वन, देन फिफ्थ वन, सिक्स्थ वन. सो कंटिन्यू बेसिकली मीन्स स्किप. Continue means skip. Now similarly here if I write, I'll just show you. Instead of writing this, if I write continue, continue मतलब that 50 जो वन वाले हमारे वो हैं बेसिकली, जो मेहमान हैं उनको बेसिकली the health is not good, so we are skipping it. So if I just execute it, but यहाँ पे गड़बड़ होगी, but I'll just show you just by running it. I'll explain you that concept. So you can see that what happened here is यहाँ पे 50 के बाद प्रोग्राम it's still running but it is actually stuck. Why? क्योंकि when I is equal to 51, at that point it is saying continue. What continue is doing is continue is saying that I will not go to next steps, and continue is directly taking me to I less than equal to 100. Now 51 is less than equal to 100, I equal to 51. So again it is saying continue. Now again it is going up. So basically what we need to do is, before, when we are actually checking I equal to 51, क्योंकि इसके नीचे तो जा ही नहीं रहा है, इसके नीचे नहीं जाएगा तो 51 का 52 कैसे होगा, और 52 नहीं होगा तो कंडीशन आगे कैसे बढ़ेगी, इसलिए प्रोग्राम यहाँ फंसा पड़ा है। क्योंकि वी सेड इट कंटिन्यू एंड इट केम हियर अगेन 51 इज लेस देन इक्वल टू 100, दैट इज ट्रू, आई इक्वल टू 51, ठीक है, कंटिन्यू, अगेन गो अप एंड देन कम हियर। सो program is actually stuck there. So what I need to do is I need to write I plus plus also here, so that before going to continue at least I की value बढ़ जानी चाहिए। Now what I'll do here is I'll just run it। ठीक है, इसमें कुछ गड़बड़ हो रही है, बट व्हाट विल हैपन व्हेन यू विल एग्जीक्यूट दिस कोड, इसमें क्या होगा, द 51th स्टेटमेंट विल नॉट गेट एग्जीक्यूटेड बट अदर ऑल स्टेटमेंट विल गेट एग्जीक्यूटेड। 52, 53, 54, 55 सारी एग्जीक्यूट होंगी, बट 51 नहीं मिलेगी आपको, ठीक है। एंड 51 के साथ मान लो हमारे जो मामा जी हैं उनको भी हो गया आई इक्वल टू 51, 55, ओके, आपके फूफा जी हैं उनको भी हो गया, तो अब आईडी डाल दो बस, आई इक्वल टू 75। तो जितने हो गया सबको यहाँ डाल दो, वो उतने पे कंटिन्यू कर दे। और मतलब when that person will come, so if that condition is true, then in that case it will execute, okay। So this is how the loops actually work, and I think you got the idea। And in today's class Mirza will take like describe, will solve some problem on this part। and guys, before leaving I just want to make few, मतलब कुछ pointers मेरे को आपको बोलने हैं जो इस वीक के लिए हैं। So is 1 minute। Okay, now there are few things, there are few announcement। The announcement is like this way: from every day now you will be getting 2 assignments, okay। So the assignment will be level 1 and level 2। So level 1 is mostly something like easy problems, okay, which you can try out। and level 2 is something like थोड़ा toughness बढ़ी होगी, it's something like medium level problem। एंड इसमें आपको जो टाइम मिलेगा फॉर इजी प्रॉब्लम, यू विल बी गेटिंग 2 or 3 days ऑफ टाइम टू सॉल्व दिस वन। एंड फॉर मीडियम यू विल बी गेटिंग टाइम ऑफ संडे एंड ऑफ द डे, इसमें इतना टाइम आपको मिलेगा, ओके। सो एवरी डे, बिकॉज दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर योर प्रैक्टिस। डोंट थिंक इतने असाइनमेंट क्यों, अरे जब तक असाइनमेंट नहीं होगा तो देन हाउ विल यू बी एबल टू प्रैक्टिस, एंड हाउ यू विल बी एबल टू रिटेन ऑल दीज कंसेप्ट ऑफ लूप्स एंड ऑल। So you need to understand one thing. So this is only about concepts which I have discussed with you. But our real challenge शुरू होगा when you will be solving problem. Okay. So, but that is very important because you need to do that kind of exercise. So that's why you will be having 2 assignment, level 1 and level 2. Second thing is your evaluation will happen on Saturday, this Saturday. ये Saturday आपका evaluation होगा. Why? Because Monday को New Year है, उस दिन holiday है. ठीक है, जनरली हमारे इवैल्यूएशन मंडे को होते हैं, बट दिस टाइम यू नो दैट लाइक मंडे इज हॉलीडे, सो दैट्स व्हाई इवैल्यूएशन विल हैपन ऑन सैटरडे। विल टेल यू व्हाट आर द टॉपिक्स, तो जितना पढ़ा है वो आएगा। आई टेल यू व्हाट एवर द फ्यूचर टॉपिक वी विल कवर, ओके। सो इट विल बी टिल नेस्टेड लूप्स, ये आएंगे टोटल आपके नेस्टेड लूप्स तक, टिल नेस्टेड लूप्स। नाउ द थर्ड थिंग इज ऑन फ्राइडे, फ्राइडे को देयर विल बी अ मॉक इवैल्यूएशन। फ्राइडे को देयर विल बी अ मॉक इवैल्यूएशन। मॉक इवैल्यूएशन मतलब एक आपकी प्रैक्टिस के लिए हमने एक इवैल्यूएशन क्रिएट किया है, आपको देना है दो, आपको नहीं देना है मत दो। दैट इज जस्ट फॉर योर प्रैक्टिस टू सी कि इवैल्यूएशन होता कैसा है, ओके। दैट विल बी टाइम बाउंडेड एंड द टाइम ड्यूरेशन उसमें डिफाइन होगी, लाइक 1.5 hour और 2 hour, लाइक इट विल बी एक्चुअली डिफाइंड। सो देयर विल बी 2 इवैल्यूएशन एक्चुअली, PR 101 एंड PBS 101, 2 इवैल्यूएशन होंगे, PBS 101, PR 101। PBS 101 में यू कैन अज्यूम लाइक अ लिटिल बिट चैलेंजिंग प्रॉब्लम, इसमें लाइक मतलब ठीक होगा, बैलेंस्ड होगा, ओके। वट एवर यू आर लर्निंग इन दीज सेशंस, सॉल्विंग इट, ओके। आपके प्रोग्रामिंग फंडामेंटल्स को दिस इज चेकिंग, बट दिस इज एक्चुअली चेकिंग योर प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग, Okay, so that's why there will be two evaluation, because there are two subjects which are running parallelly. So the pointers are, the first thing which I mentioned here is level one, level two. There will be two assignments which will be getting evaluation on Saturday, actual evaluation. Mock evaluation will be on Friday. We'll let you know the timing, and that will help you to understand the कि evaluation होता कैसे है. अब evaluation आपकी जिंदगी का एक core part बन जाएगा, क्योंकि मसाई में evaluation happen on every Monday. Okay, so that you will get used to it. Don't worry about it. So PR1, PBS 101. So there are two subjects. So there will be two evaluation. And in today's Mirza class, he will discuss while loop problem. And so that's why before going to that session, revise all these things. Okay. And I will provide you the notes. मैं आपको जितना मैंने आज डिस्कस किया है वो सारे नोट्स आई विल प्रोवाइड यू. ठीक है. तो इसलिए मतलब दैट विल बी हेल्पफुल रिसोर्स फॉर यू. आई थिंक आई हैव ऑलरेडी शेयर द नोट्स फॉर प्रीवियस सेशन. आपको आपके सेशन में नोट्स मिले होंगे नोशन के. एंड देयर यू नो दैट लाइक वट एवर आई हैव कवर्ड वहाँ पे वो सारे पॉइंटर्स. ठीक है. थैंक यू एवरीवन. आई विल मीट यू टुमारो. बाय.